This is not a random message. This is not just another video or a passing thought. This is a sacred interruption. Heaven's deliberate call to the one who has been marked. Today, May 16th, is not just another date on the calendar. It is a heavenly appointment, a moment sealed in eternity that has now arrived. You, the chosen one, are not encountering these words by accident. The veil has been lifted just enough for your spirit to recognize that something is shifting within you, around you, and far beyond what you can see. There is a stirring in the spirit realm, one that has not gone unnoticed by heaven. A voice from beyond this world, someone who once walked beside you in flesh and now watches over you in light, is trying to reach you. They have been attempting to speak not through dreams alone, but through subtle impressions, flashes of memory, moments of unusual silence, and feelings you couldn't quite explain. This soul, once close to you, has not left your story. They now dwell in glory, but their love for you remains active. And that love, that devotion, has reached a tipping point. Heaven has permitted them to send a final, urgent message, not as a ghost, but as an intercessor on your behalf. You have been feeling it, haven't you? The strange weight in your spirit, the moments where time seems to pause, and your heart senses something is drawing near or slipping away. These are not mere emotions. These are divine nudges, signs, signals. You are being pulled toward an awakening that cannot be delayed. Heaven has taken notice of what is happening in your life, and the unseen realm is no longer remaining silent. A heavenly messenger, an angel sent directly by the command of the Lord, is now present, not with a sword, but with a warning wrapped in mercy. This is a call to awareness, to discernment, and to action. Something is unfolding in your story that you must not ignore. Someone you love is about to walk away, and unless your eyes open now, you will be left wondering why they vanished, and how you never saw it coming. But you were never meant to be blindsided. That is why this message has come. Not to scare you, but to awaken you. Because God, in His love, always warns the ones He chooses before a significant shift. And today, Heaven is speaking to you with a voice that echoes beyond the veil. Will you listen? Will you recognize that this moment, May 16th, is sacred? The heavens have paused to release this word into your life. You are not forgotten. You are being pursued. And now, you are being warned for your own protection, for your preparation, and for the sake of your destiny. One of God's angels stands in the unseen beside you now, carrying a message not of judgment, but of mercy, a divine warning wrapped in love. It is time to open your ears, still your heart, and receive what has been sent. This moment is holy, and it is yours. There is someone in your life who holds a deep place in your heart, a soul whose presence once felt immovable, constant, loyal, irreplaceable, and yet now, without any loud announcement or clear goodbye, they are quietly stepping out of your life. This is not death, but it is departure, not of body, but of spirit, of heart, of mind. The kind of distance that is harder to grieve because it is not seen. It is felt deeply, quietly, painfully. You've sensed it already, in the way their words have grown shorter, in how their eyes no longer meet yours when you speak of the future, in the excuses, in the delays, in the cold spaces that never used to be there. Conversations that once felt like home now feel like locked doors. They speak, but something is missing behind the words, something sacred that used to connect you, and you keep telling yourself, it's just a season, just stress, just change. But your spirit knows better. Heaven knows better. The truth is, they have already begun their departure, not just in action, but in intention. There are plans being formed in silence, conversations happening without your presence, decisions being made that do not include you. You are still clinging to hope, still believing for restoration, still waiting for signs that they'll return to who they once were. But behind the curtain of appearances, a different script is being written, one that moves them further and further from you, not by accident, but by choice. And that is why this warning has come, so you are not caught in the shock of goodbye without understanding the spiritual story that led there. This departure is not random. It is part of a shift that heaven has seen long before you ever noticed the cracks. God has watched as your soul stayed loyal, while theirs quietly drifted. And now, because He loves you, He is allowing this revelation to rise, not to break you, but to awaken you. Because what feels like the end is not a punishment, it is protection. As C.S. Lewis poignantly wrote in The Problem of Pain, God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our consciences, but shouts in our pains. It is His megaphone to rouse a deaf world. This divine warning, this pain of sensing a loved one's departure, is God's megaphone, calling you to awaken. The ache you feel is not merely loss, It is a sacred signal, shouting through the fog of your loyalty, to alert you to the spiritual shift unfolding. Heaven is using this moment to rouse you to clarity, to prepare you for the path ahead. This is not about blame, it's about clarity. The person you love is no longer where you left them emotionally, spiritually, relationally. Their path is curving, and you must decide whether to chase what is already leaving or prepare for what heaven is making room to bring. One cannot walk into divine destiny while dragging dead weight. And so, in mercy, God is showing you now before it's final, before it's too late, that the goodbye is already beginning. You must decide if you will listen or learn through pain. There is someone watching over you, a soul who once walked this earth by your side and now stands in the courts of heaven. Though their body may have returned to dust, their spirit has not ceased loving you, and now, with clearer vision from eternity, they are desperately trying to reach you, to warn you, to protect you, because they have seen something you have not. They have witnessed what's moving in the shadows around your life, something subtle, something spiritual, something dangerous. This is not just about betrayal. This is not just about someone walking away. What is unfolding in your life right now is deeper than disloyalty. It is spiritual theft. The person you love, the one who is slowly growing distant, is not merely making a personal decision. They are being influenced, swayed, and whispered to by forces that do not carry the light. Spirits not of God have begun to speak through the voices around them. These voices are planting confusion, fear, restlessness, and manipulation. What you see as a change in attitude is, in reality, a shift in spiritual atmosphere. And the one who now speaks from heaven, they see it clearly. They know what's moving behind the curtain. They see the invisible cords pulling at the person you care for. And they have been trying to send you signs, a dream that haunts you, a memory that suddenly returns, a strange discomfort when you hear a certain name or walk into a certain place. That's not coincidence. That's not paranoia. That's divine intervention. A heavenly soul is pleading with your spirit, saying, "Wake up, see what I see." Don't let this happen in silence. Heaven itself has begun to stir. The warning has been released. The alarms are ringing not in noise, but in spiritual symbols, subtle moments meant to shake your discernment. Awake. And now, an angel sent by the Lord himself has stepped into your timeline with a sacred message. This is not just emotional, this is spiritual, and it must not be ignored. The influence moving through that person is not clean. It is not holy. It seeks not only to remove them from your life, but to drain your purpose, your energy, your joy. This is no small matter. You are being robbed, but not of money or time. You are being robbed of destiny, of peace, of divine alignment, and the voice from heaven, full of holy urgency, is calling to you. Look again, pray again. Don't assume things are still what they were. Something has shifted, and it is not of God. The spiritual realm has spoken. Heaven is no longer silent. You must not be either. Within the next 48 hours, the chosen one will receive a sign. It will not be loud, and it will not announce itself. It may come as a single strange sentence spoken in passing, a name that surfaces unexpectedly in a conversation, a photograph you haven't seen in years suddenly appearing, or a moment during a conversation where everything feels like it tightens around your chest and the air leaves the room. When it happens, you will know, because your spirit will react before your mind can make sense of it. There will be no need to second guess. That is the moment. Heaven has prepared you for the moment when truth pierces through the fog. This is not superstition. It is sacred signal. Heaven does not play with signs. When the divine chooses to confirm a message, it does so with precise timing and unmistakable weight. And when that moment arrives, your soul will feel a sudden sharpness, an ache, a constriction, a breath you cannot catch. That sensation is not weakness, it is revelation. The veil is being pulled back for a single heartbeat of time. And in that heartbeat, you will see the truth you were not ready to face until now. The soul of the one who once loved you in life and now watches over you in eternity. They are orchestrating every spiritual tool available to reach your heart. They are whispering into dreams, stirring memories, guiding coincidences that are not coincidences at all, because they know the urgency. They know what will be lost if you remain asleep to what is happening around you. And so, with the permission of heaven, they are moving through the natural to speak something supernatural to you. But you must be paying attention. You must not dismiss the sign as random. Do not push away the emotion when it hits. Let your spirit respond. Lean in. Remember this moment right now, because when that signal appears subtle but thunderous within your soul, you will recognize it for what it truly is. Confirmation from the heavens. The invisible has just reached into your visible world. and it is not to harm you, but to awaken you. C.S. Lewis, in his profound work, The Screwtape Letters, reminds us, there are two equal and opposite errors into which our race can fall about the devils. One is to disbelieve in their existence. The other is to believe and to feel an excessive and unhealthy interest in them. This warning from Lewis speaks directly to the spiritual theft you are facing. The subtle influences pulling your loved one away are not mere human failings. They are orchestrated by forces that seek to disrupt your divine alignment. Yet, you must neither ignore these forces nor become consumed by fear of them. Instead, heed heaven's call to discern and act, trusting that the sign within 48 hours will guide you to the truth. Heaven is not giving up on you. The soul that left this world is still fighting for your future, and they are using every remaining spiritual thread to stir your awareness. So you will not walk blindly into heartbreak. The sign is coming, and when it arrives, don't just see it. Receive it. Let it break what needs to break. Let it free what needs to be released, because only then can God begin what he is preparing next. Heaven is no longer silent. The voice of the Lord is rising firm, holy, filled with both mercy and warning, and this voice, sacred and thunderous in the spirit, is directed not at the world, but at you, my child, says the Lord. I love you too much to remain silent while your soul is under attack. These are not poetic words. They are divine fire. They are a father's cry breaking through the fog surrounding you, shaking the atmosphere around your life. The person you love, the one whose heart you've been holding on to, is no longer walking in the alignment they once shared with heaven's rhythm. They have started to detach themselves not only from you, but from the divine thread that once tethered their spirit to the higher calling. They are no longer connected to the same light, the same purpose, the same spiritual covering that once protected both of you. And while you continue to hope, to pray, to remain steady in trust, decisions are already being made in secret, behind closed doors and unspoken words. Someone, whether by human will or dark influence, is forming plans without you, shaping paths that exclude you. There are conversations you have not been invited into, futures being imagined that no longer include your name, and heaven sees it all. That is why the Lord is speaking now with urgency. You must rise. You must open your mouth. You must act before the door is sealed shut, before silence becomes separation, and separation becomes regret. God is not calling you to panic. He is calling you to awaken, to rise from the numbness that disappointment has tried to wrap around your heart, to break free from the passivity that trauma has left behind. You are not weak. You are not forgotten. You are not helpless. You are chosen. And because you are chosen, you are being warned. Because God doesn't let those he marks walk blindly into a storm he's already seen. This is the moment where the divine alarm has been sounded in the spirit. The shift is already happening, and now, so must you. Speak, move, pay attention. Say what you need to say. Make the choice you've been avoiding. Heaven will strengthen you, but you must not ignore this moment. The time for silence has ended. The time for clarity has come. The Lord is not asking you to predict the future, but to respond to the present. Your destiny is too sacred to be stolen in shadows, and your voice, when aligned with God's will, carries the power to break chains before they harden into permanent captivity. So awaken now, chosen one, before the door closes, before this chapter ends, before the echo of warning becomes the ache of what could have been. There comes a moment when heaven no longer whispers, but shakes, and this is that moment for you. The Lord is not speaking softly now. He is pressing his question into your soul like a blade of light meant to divide illusion from truth. Why are you still there, beloved? Why are you still anchored to someone who has already begun to drift from you? Why are you still bleeding for someone who no longer bandages your wounds? Why are you fighting for a connection that no longer fights for you? You, the chosen one, have poured yourself out with holy loyalty. You've been faithful beyond reason. You've stayed when others would have run. You've made excuses for their silence, for their distance, for their coldness, hoping that if you loved them hard enough, they would come back. But they haven't. And deep inside, you know it. You can feel it every time they speak to you with distracted eyes. You can feel it when you reach out and find them emotionally absent. You can feel it when your soul starts to ache even in their presence. And yet you stay, you pray, you endure. But heaven is asking, at what cost? Your peace, your purpose, your divine alignment. You are the one God has marked, the one heaven is trying to reposition for something sacred. But how can you rise when your spirit is being chained by someone who is no longer willing to walk in the light with you? Why do you stay quiet while your heart fractures in secret? Why are you silencing your soul to maintain an image that no longer reflects your reality? Why are you protecting their comfort, while your own heart breaks under the weight of confusion and unanswered prayers? This is not condemnation. It is a wake-up call. It is the cry of a loving God who sees how long you've been bending yourself into pieces to hold something together that he is now calling you to release. Heaven is not blind to your pain. God has seen every moment you've chosen to love when you were unloved. He has counted every tear you've cried behind closed doors. But now he is asking you to step back and ask the hard question, why are you still holding on to something I'm trying to remove? C.S. Lewis, with piercing insight in the Four Loves, wrote, "To love at all is to be vulnerable. Love anything, and your heart will be wrung and possibly broken. Your loyalty, your love, has made you vulnerable, and now your heart is wrung by the slow departure of one you cherished." Yet, Lewis reminds us that this vulnerability is not weakness, but a testament to your capacity for divine love. Heaven is not asking you to stop loving, but to redirect that love toward the destiny God is preparing, releasing what no longer aligns with his purpose for you. This question is not meant to shame you. It is meant to free you, because sometimes clarity only comes when you stop explaining away the pain and start honoring what your spirit already knows. You have stayed long enough. You have fought hard enough. And now, heaven is saying, it's time to stop waiting for someone to come back who has already spiritually walked away. You are not forgotten. You are not unloved. But you must choose now. Will you remain in a story that is slowly erasing you? Or will you trust the author of your destiny to write something greater? The question remains, echoing in your soul. Why are you still there? My chosen one. There are moments in life when decisions are no longer made on earth, but in the eternal courts above. And this is one of those moments. The words that were spoken in private, the actions taken in silence, the hidden motives of the heart. All of it has already been laid bare before the throne. The heavenly court has reviewed it. Nothing has been missed. Every intention has been weighed. Every lie, every silence, every tear you shed in confusion, it has all been recorded, not by human memory, but by divine justice. And now, heaven has issued its verdict. The separation is no longer a possibility. It is a permission, not from the person, but from God. The departure has been allowed, not as punishment, but as protection. The divine has seen what you cannot, and out of mercy, not anger, the gates have been opened for this chapter to end. The ties are being loosened, not because you are unworthy, but because what was once aligned is now in dissonance with your destiny. You may feel it as loss, but in truth, it is rescue. And even in this sacred unraveling, you are not alone. The one who once walked this earth beside you, the soul now in glory, is watching. They see the path ahead. They see how this departure could break you, if not for divine intervention. That is why they are gathering every ounce of their heavenly strength to intercede for you, to shield your soul from collapse, to press comfort into the edges of your breaking heart. They are whispering, hold on, don't let this crush you. It is not the end, it is deliverance. C.S. Lewis, in his timeless reflection in Mere Christianity, declared, it may be hard for an egg to turn into a bird. It would be a jolly sight harder for it to learn to fly while remaining an egg. You, chosen one, are in the painful yet sacred process of breaking free from the shell of this relationship. The departure you mourn is the cracking of that shell, necessary for you to emerge into the fullness of your divine destiny. Clinging to what was will only keep you trapped. Heaven is urging you to let go, to transform, and to soar into the purpose awaiting you. They have seen what you haven't dared admit. They have watched as you loved faithfully while being slowly unchosen. And now, they are calling on angels. They are releasing their voice in heaven to guard your spirit in this final moment, so that when the goodbye comes, you will not fall apart, but rise with strength that could only come from above. The verdict has been rendered. The page is turning. Heaven is not just watching, it has acted. And you, chosen one, must now walk with dignity through the door that God has opened. Not for departure, but for your divine preservation. Listen now, chosen one, for the voice of the Lord is not whispering. He is speaking with clarity, with tenderness, with power. I am doing something new in your life. The ending you are witnessing is not a curse, but a clearing. The pain you feel is not meant to break you, but to birth something greater. The one who is stepping away is not being torn from you by cruelty, but by divine necessity. And though your heart trembles at the loss, heaven is standing ready with something more holy than anything you've yet known. This departure is not your destruction, says the Lord. It is your doorway, a doorway into a season that has been waiting, hidden behind the presence of someone who could no longer walk in alignment with your destiny. What you thought would be forever was only for a season, and now that the season has changed, The scenery must shift. The release is not punishment. It is permission to rise, permission to become who I created you to be before the world shaped your expectations. And from the heavenly realm, the one who has passed the soul who once held your hand in life and now fights for you in eternity is weeping, not from sorrow, but from urgency. They see the crossroads. They see how close you are to stepping into the very promise they prayed you'd one day reach. But they also see the danger. If you keep holding on to what heaven is removing, you may miss the miracle that is now knocking. Their tears are falling not just out of love, but out of intercession. They are crying because they know this is your divine turning point. This is not just a goodbye, it is a call to obedience, a call to release the fading, so you can receive the fresh fire heaven has prepared. The door you're afraid to close is the very one blocking your next blessing. Let go, says the Lord. Let go, not because they don't matter, but because I matter more, because your future matters more, because what I have for you cannot bloom in the soil of something that no longer feeds your soul. You are not weak for surrendering. You are not faithless for releasing. You are not cold for choosing peace. You are wise. You are chosen. You are protected. So let them go, not in bitterness, but in bold trust. Trust that I, your God, I am rewriting the story, not with ashes, but with glory. And when the new begins, when joy returns, when peace settles like dew on your soul, you will look back and see it clearly. That goodbye was the beginning of my miracle. Chosen one, this is not a time for delay. Heaven has spoken. The verdict has been rendered, and the season has shifted. Now, there are 3 sacred acts you must carry out, not as symbolic gestures, but as spiritual keys to unlock what God is preparing next in your life. First, forgive, even if they never ask. Do not wait for an apology to set your heart free. Do not chain your healing to their repentance. Forgive them not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace, because your soul cannot carry the weight of bitterness into the blessing that is coming. When you forgive, you are not excusing what they did. You are releasing yourself from the prison of their decisions. Let the chains fall. Say it aloud if you must. I forgive you. I set you free. And in doing so, I set myself free. Second, release them fully. Finally, by name. Call their name. Whisper it into the atmosphere with calm authority. And then say, I release you. Say it as a declaration to your own soul, to heaven, and to the shadows that try to linger. This is your spiritual severing. This is how you take back what was entangled. You are not bound anymore. Their presence may have filled your thoughts, your emotions, your prayers. But now, God says, it is time to cut the soul tie. Let it be known in both realms. You have let them go. Third, prepare. Your hands must be empty to receive the new. You cannot embrace what heaven is about to place in your life if your arms are still full of yesterday. Clear the space. Make room in your heart, your schedule, your thoughts. A new season is approaching, and with it comes divine assignments, unexpected provision, healing connections, and restoration. So complete, it will silence your doubts. But to receive it, you must be ready. Be willing to be emptied so that God Himself can fill you. This is not a ritual. This is a response. Heaven is watching. The one from above is interceding. And God is waiting arms wide, future ready. Obey quickly. Forgive. Release. Prepare. Because what's coming next is holy. This is not the end of a message. It is the crossing of a threshold. It is the moment heaven has waited for. The moment your spirit finally awakens to what's been building in the unseen for far too long. Today is not just another page on the calendar. Today is May 16th, a day stamped by the divine hand of God, written in heaven long before you were even formed. This is not a coincidence. This is not a casual scroll or a fleeting moment of curiosity. This is a sacred appointment between your soul and the creator of the universe. Right now, as your eyes read these words, the realm of heaven is still. The angels are not rushing to and fro. They are watching you. One stands at your side, dispatched for this exact hour, assigned by God to carry this message directly to you, not to the masses, not to the world, but to you, the chosen one. Heaven has made space in its eternal rhythm for this moment because your heart matters that much. Your destiny matters that much. And you, dear soul, have reached a divine fork in the road. A spirit who once walked this earth beside you. A voice that once whispered love into your life now fights for you from above. They are not gone, they have risen. And from the heights of glory, they have seen what you cannot yet see. They see the deception forming. They see the betrayal taking shape. They see the emotional and spiritual exit of the one your heart still holds. And in a sacred act of divine love, They have pressed through the veil to bring you one final warning, one final call to rise. And heaven has allowed it, not because you are weak, but because you are so deeply loved, because you have endured much and carried much, often in silence, because your loyalty has been misused, your love taken for granted, and your tears wept in the night, unheard by human ears, but never unnoticed by God. And now the time has come for the silence to be broken. God himself is calling your name, loudly, urgently, tenderly. He is not speaking in riddles or symbols. He is speaking plainly. I have chosen you. I have warned you. Now, will you answer me? This is not a call into fear. It is a call into full awareness. It is an invitation to walk in holy discernment, to stop shrinking into pain, and to rise into purpose. You have been sleeping with eyes wide open, hoping things will fix themselves. But heaven is saying no more. No more pretending. No more enduring silence while your spirit breaks in quiet places. No more handing your worth to someone who is no longer spiritually walking beside you. This is the moment. The door is open, but not forever. The angels are watching. The spirit of the one who has gone before you is interceding. God is speaking. The signs are already unfolding, and you know it. You feel it. You've sensed it. And now, you are being called to act. Let your answer echo not just from your lips, but from the deepest place within your soul. Yes, Lord, I hear you. I receive this word. I choose to awaken. I will not ignore the signs. I will not silence the voice from heaven. I will not miss what you are about to do. What follows now will not be easy, but it will be holy. The next steps will not be without pain, but they will be filled with purpose, and heaven will walk with you through each one. You are not forsaken. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are called. You are chosen. You are marked by heaven for something greater.